Did any else have scotch tape put on their buttholes during DR's visits? It's to test for pinworms. The worms lay eggs around the anus, so they use a piece of tape to pick up any skin and other cells around the anus, then put it under a microscope to check for eggs. It's a thing. No pervies. https://pubmed.ncbi.nlm.nih.gov/129134454/. Damn. Now I feel like I may have gotten shortchanged. I mean, damn. No one checked me for worms. Didn't they care? Didn't they think I was worth it? I gotta go get the tape now. My kid had pinworms when he was 2 or 3. I'm still traumatized from seeing them crawl out of his butthole. Would not recommend. It's a valid test for pinworm infection. https://medlineplus.gov/nc/article/003452.htm. Infection rates decreased substantially in the 1970s to the point that most doctors weren't bothering to do routine tests of kids with no symptoms by the 80s. Growing up then, I have no memories of it being done, although some doctors no doubt continued it for a time. I was born in the 80s and went to sleepaway summer camp every year. One year there was a pinworm outbreak and they had nurses come to each cabin first thing every morning and check us for pinworms using tape on our buttholes. It was done with as much dignity as possible, but man, oh man, I'll never forget it. That's my scotch-taped butthole story. And thankfully I remained pinworm-free. Late to the party, but I love this story. My kiddo got buttworms when she was maybe 7 years old. We got sent home with a prescription and one of those FYI info sheets from the doctor's office. I threw the info sheet on the table and forgot about it. The next morning she was reading it while eating her cereal when she suddenly pushed back from the table and began shaking her head violently and yelling, "No. Never. That's not happening. No." Come to find, the at-home test for buttworms is to scotch tape your butthole at bedtime. As your body heats up overnight, they try to step out for a breath of fresh air and stick to the tape. I never had to tape her butthole. I also never had to argue with her again about washing her hands before eating.
Exclamation mark GIF.
OMG. I remember my aunt talking to my mom about this when I was a kid in the 90s. It terrified me. Not so much the tape on my butthole, but the egg worms that might be in there. ETA some words. Me, WTF. Me after reading the comments. Oh. This procedure dates back to the early 1960s when it was done to me by my mom. Might be in the minority here, but this is the first I've learned of this, and WTF. So many questions. LMAO. Howard Stern has told his story about tape and pinworms as a small child so many times. Wow. Never heard it outside of his story, but yay. I've at least heard of this before. It is indeed a valid technique to check for intestinal worms. Was your doctor also Joey's tailor? I never heard of this and was a teenager in the 80s. My doctor did this to me last week and I'm 44. Obviously I'm not a doctor, but I have heard of this before, and I'm not from the 80s. Yup, learned this test in med school last year. WTF? I was born in '73 and I have legit never heard of this in my life.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epicaricast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.